What's up, this is GM, and before I start, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy. In case you don't know, TubeBuddy is a free website that will help you manage and grow your YouTube channel. Thanks to them, some of my videos even show up as top results. Want to give them a try? Check the description below for the link.
Today's product is an 18-inch RGB ring light. So in the box, we have the ring light, which I already have turned on. We have the power cable, which I already have plugged in. It also came in a carrying case, which is very handy to have. I've noticed a lot of ring lights don't seem to come with carrying cases anymore, which is unfortunate. We have this little button right here that you can connect to your phone, so you can have it pretty much start a video or take a picture right off the bat, so you don't have to touch on your phone. We have a remote, which is what I'll be using throughout this video to control the lights. And we have a very short manual right here. So I'm going to go over some general info, then go into my thoughts on it with a final pros and cons list. So it is an 18-inch ring light with 9 light modes and 10 adjustable brightness levels. It has 128 lights that are white, 128 are warm white, and 96 are RGB. The color temperature goes from 2,800 to 8,500 Kelvin. It has 15 lighting options, tripod stand made of aluminum alloy, and goes from 23.6 inches to 67 inches, so it can get really tall. And the phone holders can hold between 2.2 to 3.4 inches wide. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. So here we have the tripod. I didn't really expand it all the way. I only expanded one clip all the way, I think, and then this one I can expand even higher. Like I said, it goes up to, I think, 67 inches. So that's over 5 feet, 5 feet 7 inches. That's pretty tall. You probably won't need it that high, but you never know. Let's get in a little closer here. So right here we have the 3 phone stands. They do come off. I went ahead and attached all 3. This is really handy for those of you who will be filming multiple angles, need multiple shots. Good for live streams as well. I've seen a lot of YouTubers use a similar type of rig, so it's kind of nice that you can just attach these and just move it around a bit. And there you go. You can attach it however you want and remove all 3 if you don't need any of them. If you just need it for light, that's always an option as well. And then down here, might be a little hard to see because of how bright the light is. I'll go ahead and turn down the brightness a little bit. Okay, so down here we have 2 switches. So we have one here, dials pretty much. If you press them down, it turns off the power. Either one you can press to turn on or off the power. And this one, if you rotate it, it will change the RGB color modes. If you turn this one, it's for how bright or dim the light can get. So that's kind of nice that they made sure to put it as 2 separate dials. And then let's take a look at the very back of it. Now this might be a little bit harder to see, but pretty much we have the power spot. You attach the power cable to it, and then over here is a USB slot, so you can attach like a USB to micro USB, USB-C, whatever it is, so you can charge your phone while it's on this stand right here. So that's nice. Your phone won't die while you're using it. That is always a plus, and it kind of saves you the hassle of having to have multiple outlets and having wires all over the place. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these color modes. Right now, I believe I have the brightness maxed out. Yeah, that should be maxed out. It is super bright right now. It might not look it because, of course, my camera is going to adjust for the brightness, but it is super, super bright. And I'm going to start off by showing you, as best as I can, this remote. I'm going to do it kind of far away so that way it can maybe focus. It might not be able to focus too well. There we go. So the red button right here is a nightlight mode. So you see it got really dim, and it's actually a warmish yellow. And I'm going to turn it sideways a bit so you can see the reflection on the wall, because that will kind of show up a little bit better than looking directly at the light. Obviously, looking directly at the light isn't going to work too well. So yeah, that is right now kind of like a nightlight mode. Then up here we have an on and off button. On and off both actually work exactly the same. I press the on button to turn it off, and I press it again to turn it on, and you can do the same thing with the off button, so they're pretty much interchangeable. Now we have these arrows. So up and right are going to be to increase brightness, bottom and left are going to decrease brightness. Right now we're on a nightlight mode. When I press this, it'll actually just switch to the default mode. Just because of nightlight mode, obviously you're not going to be changing the brightness of necessarily. So here we have the max brightness back to its default, and I'm going to decrease it a little bit at a time. And I think, yep, and then it goes all the way off and then back up. And I'll keep it 1 from the lowest. And then in the center, we have it to go back to the default bright white type of light. And over here, we have the RGB button, which I'm not going to do just yet. Instead, I'm going to do the section button. And it's going to switch in between the 3 modes. So first we have the warm, we have the white, and then this is actually the white version that we left off on. So it's kind of like a saved brightness. So let's say if I put it up to this brightness, and then I press section, and see it comes back to this brightness after on the 3rd click. Then we have CT minus and CT plus. CT minus is gonna make it a little bit warmer each time I press it. And I'm gonna turn down the brightness a little bit so you can see on the wall a little bit better. So I've turned it down pretty low. It's still pretty bright, but you can kind of see off the wall the reflection of it. So now I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter, so kind of whiter instead of warmer, until we hit the max. So now, when I do the section, it'll go to that. If I just hold this down and make it as warm as possible at this lowest brightness, and then hit section once, twice, and then the 3rd time, again, it's a saved mode. So let's look through the RGB modes now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it once, and we're going to go to red. So I'll go ahead and make sure the brightness is maxed out right now. And you can decrease and increase the brightness for most of these modes. For some of these modes, the RGB modes, instead of changing brightness, what it'll do instead is it will change the speed. So keep that in mind. Not every single RGB mode is going to have a brightness option. Instead, it'll have a speed option. And you'll see what I mean in a bit. So yeah, first we have red. Now we have green. We have a dark blue. We have kind of a lime green. This is a purple. This is a cyan color. And now here's one of those modes that's going to be kind of like switching in between all the colors. And if I think I can, yeah, okay. So pushing down or left will decrease the speed of it. And increasing brightness doesn't increase brightness, it'll increase the speed like I mentioned before. So I'll go and max that out. And now I'll hit RGB again. So now we have kind of a breathing mode. Now we have, and this is going to be really hard to see probably, but it's switching between the colors. It has it in like a ring. And let me see if I can maybe adjust my camera a little bit so it's a little easier to see. So that might have made it a little easier to see on the light itself. It is still really bright, but I've lowered the ISO on my camera so that way it's easier to see on the light itself. So yeah, right now it's switching between all the colors in a circle, and I'll increase the brightness on that. And you can see it can go super quick. So let's go to the next one. So this one's going to go through each color in a circle. And then this one just kind of looks like it's shooting in a circle. It's pretty much just rotating in a circle. Now we do it one color going in the opposite direction. And if I probably should have showed this earlier. If I increase brightness, instead what it'll do is it'll switch the color in this situation. So you can see it's switching between the colors every time I increase or decrease brightness. Now let's go to the next one. So this one again is a breathing one, and you can switch it by increasing or decreasing brightness. This one is stationary, and if I can decrease brightness, I believe, on this one. Yeah, so I can decrease and increase the brightness on this one. And you'll see it pretty much all it is it's a 2-color mode, so it's a yellow and a blue on this in this case. Now we've got a red and a green. This one's a blue and a purple. This one's going to go in a circle, and I can increase and decrease brightness for this one. As you can see, decreased and now increase. Now we switched it between a yellow and a blue. Now we've got a blue, like a light blue and a purple. Yellow and red and green, I believe. Let me slow it down and see. Yeah, so it's kind of like red, orange, yellow, green. This one's going to be blue, green, kind of some of that darkness blue in it. Purples, different shades of purples in this case. I'll go and speed it up so it might be a little easier to see the transition on it. This one has red, blue, green. This one includes the yellow into that one. Now it has purple included. Now I just can't even tell. I think, yeah, it's a light blue this time. And now instead what it's done is it's made some black spots, or pretty much no light in certain spots every other segment. And I can speed that up as well. So it looks more like a flash rather than a circle, but it is going in a circle. And now this one's going to continuously change between the two modes that we had earlier. Now this is going to be a flash, and it's going to alternate and then do them all together. And you can increase and decrease the speed on this one, I think. Maybe it's brightness. Let's see. Okay, so it's brightness. So you can't change the speed on this one. You can only change the brightness. I might need to edit that because I'm worried that that might cause issues for some people to see. But yeah, pretty much if I skip that, what it was is it was a strobing version. I'll slow it down too if I can. Let's see if I can slow it down. No, it just decreases the brightness. So I'll decrease the brightness and show the rest of these just because the strobing can cause issues for some people. So what it was is earlier I was showing the strobing and it was doing white. It was doing kind of a warm white, and then it was doing a straight up warm orangey yellow. And now we're on red. Now we're on green. And again, I have the brightness all the way down just so it doesn't hurt anyone's eyes or cause any health issues. Now we've got dark blue, we've got yellowish green, we got purple, we got light blue, got orange, and now it's going to be doing a breathing, I believe. And I'll go ahead and raise that back up. Yellow. Oh, okay, so we're back to the stationary colors pretty much now. As you can see, I'm just going to go through a couple of them. But yeah, that's a lot of color options. Honestly, that should cover for most people. I don't think you're going to need much more than those. I'm going to go and raise that back to its max. See, even at ISO at its lowest, right now I have ISO at 50, and this at its brightest, it's super bright. You see, like, even with a low ISO, and for those of you who aren't aware of, like, what ISO kind of is, ISO, I guess the best way for me to explain is a low ISO means you're going to have less noise in your video. You know, like where it looks like you have these random colored pixels sometimes in your videos or pictures. Having a low ISO will get rid of some of that, but it'll make your picture look really dark. And since it makes it look really dark, you might need a really bright light. And in this case, this light will do perfect for any situation like that, which is, I think, one of the reasons I like it. You know, it's not just an RGB light. It also is just a normal light. You know, you can use it for that warm yellow or that white kind of fluorescent light as well, whatever you kind of need. All right, so let's go into my final pros and cons list. Pros include that it is an RGB lighting with the 3 normal lights that you get in most ring lights. It has multiple color schemes, 3 phone holders, a charging port for phones. The only real con I can really see is that the dials only have 10 brightness options. I prefer it to be a continuous smooth transition between the lowest and highest brightness so you can get more specific to what you need. However, it comes with the carrying case, which I think is a huge pro since most ring lights I've bought at this price point don't come with one. And that is a real downside if you don't have a carrying case because, you know, you may need to take this to other locations. I generally need to take my ring lights with me to different places. And so it's really nice to have this carrying case down here. And the carrying case also has like a small pocket for all of the phone holders, the remote and everything. So that's also nice that it has those little compartments for it as well. That's it for this video. Link to the product is in the description below. If you found the video helpful, I'd love it if you could leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment below as well.